Boxing Profiles. I'm your host, Tony Prince. Hey guys, what's going on? It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon in sunny California. Hey guys, I hope you guys caught the Virgil Ortiz fight last night. Um, Honestly, my opinion of the whole card wasn't that great of a card. That's just me, okay? Because I was expecting something a little bit more. I expect more from the fighters that we are watching on basically pay per view. I expect these guys to actually put on a show. Sometimes you could have a bad night. I do understand that, but you can rebound from it. Okay. Last night, the two ladies that fought was pretty good. That was a pretty decent fight. The fight with the two gentlemen earlier that everyone said that it was going to be a war. It turned out to be a one-sided fight. I really wasn't impressed with either of the fighter with Cobb or I believe his name was Hooker, something like that. Anyway, I really wasn't impressed with either of those two fights because also I know that Cobb got knocked out in his last fight. Cobb came in and he knocked the guy down several times, and he turned out winning the fight. There was a lot of headbutting, and then also too, I was paying attention to the corners, and it seemed like the corner with Terrence Crawford was in it wasn't given a whole lot of information about countering and doing a lot of different things. And Crawford came in basically when he came in, he said, "Get your foot on the outside of the other guy's foot." So he started giving him a little bit more information. It wasn't a whole lot of information I was seeing coming from Bomac himself. So again, that's just my opinion. It's not to say anything that he didn't know what he was doing or nothing, but it just looked like Terrence Crawford took the lead, and that was it. And they wind up losing the fight last night. I'll be honest, I really wasn't impressed. I mean, especially me being a former fighter and now a current boxing coach, I expect nothing but excellence from the fighters that step into the ring, especially if I'm going to spend X amount of dollars on a pay per view. Okay, I'm sorry, folks, but look, I said it before and I'll say it again. Okay, there are some fighters that are out there that don't some of them don't belong on pay per view. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Some of them do not belong on pay per view. They are fighters that need to be probably just on regular TV or in some other avenue that they need to be on. If I'm going to do a pay per view, I'm going to put the best fighters I can on pay per view to keep my cards exciting. That's what I would do as a promoter. That's just me. I'm not saying these guys don't know what they're doing. All I'm saying is, for me, that is what I would do. Okay. Let me jump on Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz last night, first couple rounds, what I saw from Virgil Ortiz was it looks like he was trying too hard, and looks like he was going for a one-punch knockout. I think this guy surprised him a little bit. Virgil, late in the later rounds, he started figuring things out, and he started going down to the guy's body. Eventually, he's got the knockout or the technical knockout, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna be honest with you with this. From what I saw last night from Virgil Ortiz, everyone's telling me how great of a fighter he is. He's got 18 fights, 18 knockouts. Okay, cool. All right, nothing's wrong with that. Okay, but what I saw for him last night, if he got into the ring with Boots Ennis, the reason why Boots Ennis would beat Virgil Ortiz is because of Boots' jab. Boots is the taller man. He's a real rangy guy. I believe Boots will beat Virgil Ortiz. It will be one of two things: a late round technical knockout or a decision for Boots Ennis in a split decision, is what I believe. Some people say, "Hey, man, you don't know what you're talking about, right?" Okay, whatever. Okay, you believe what you want to believe. But I'm telling you, from what I saw last night, Virgil Ortiz, okay, how many times did Virgil Ortiz use his jab? Can anybody tell me? You could write that in the comment section. He did not use his jab consistently last night. He did a lot of jumping in, and he started wailing on the body, the arms, and all those other things last night. Video don't lie. Okay? So people can't sit back and just say, "Hey, you don't know what you're talking about." No, I know exactly what I'm talking about because I watched the fight films over and over and over again. Okay, so and I'll sit here and I'll study and I'll study and I'll study. Okay, bottom line to it is Boots Ennis will beat Virgil Ortiz. Terrence Crawford, that's an easy fight for Terrence Crawford currently from what I saw last night with Virgil Ortiz. Earl Spence, oh God, I don't even want to talk about Earl Spence. It'll be a walk. It will be just a walk through. He'll walk right through Virgil Ortiz. I don't care how hard he hits. You got to be able to hit something to knock something out. Okay? We saw last night, okay, that the guy last night, okay, it took Virgil a couple rounds to get this guy out of there. And this guy is nowhere near the talent level that Spence or Crawford is, or even Boots Ennis, or a Keith Thurman. Nowhere near it. Everyone is saying, I hear people are saying right now, oh, Virgil Ortiz will beat Keith Thurman. I doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it, and here's why I doubt that. Thurman is a mover. Thurman hits hard. Thurman is the former undisputed, no, I'm sorry, unified, not undisputed. He is the former unified champion. Okay? A lot more experience. Okay? A lot more experience. All right? Thurman has been in there with the better opposition, which, when it comes to experience-wise, that makes a difference on who you've been in the ring with. But sometimes people will say, although that doesn't matter. Well, then you're a person that is pretty much counting on a lucky punch, okay? And you really don't know boxing, okay? And, most of you people that you guys out there, you guys came up with this word called casual fans, okay? All right? For me, I just call them just boxing fans, all right? But there are some of you guys out there that really don't know boxing, and there's some guys out there that's got a lot of great boxing knowledge, and that is the question that I have for you. Who are you guys listening to? Are you listening to guys with boxing knowledge, or are you listening to guys who has boxing experience and knowledge? Who are you guys listening to? Because I hear a lot of stupid stuff that's being said, and some of the stuff that's being said, I could tell that these guys, when they say something, they don't have any experience in boxing, but yet and still they know more about boxing than some of the coaches do. I don't know how in the world that happens when they never fought a day in their life. Okay? So all I'm saying is there are some guys out there, like there's one guy that I got big respect for, okay? And he is a true boxing fan, okay? And he's never, ever fought, okay? His name is Theo, okay? He's a great friend of mine. Me and him, we could sit back and we can have discussions for hours and hours and hours. And it's not only on boxing, it's on all of this pugilistic sports, okay? The man is so good that I told him that he should be an announcer. An announcer, because the man is that good and have that much wealth of knowledge, okay? Now, I'm not seeing that coming from a lot of these other guys that are out here on all these different channels. There are a few guys out there that, I look at them and they got big respect. Then there's some guys that I'm just seeing and I'm just like, wow, he really said that? And, and I know for a fact that sometimes some of the things that's being said are a little off, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say that they don't know what they're doing or any of that kind of stuff, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that some of the times the things they're saying is they're off, but that is their own opinion, and I can't stop someone from having their own opinion. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's about you writing into the comment section and you giving your opinion, and it's about we can agree to disagree, okay? Like the big fight between Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence. Half the people are saying Crawford, the other half are saying Spence. Well, I'm saying the fight ain't even going to happen because there's no contract that's signed, okay? All the talk that's going across the internet, I'm convinced that this fight is not going to happen because the money is not there. There's a whole lot of issues with pay-per-views being sold. One guy could sell, the other guys can't. So this is where the money issue comes in. So all I'm gonna say is this: maybe this fight needs to be just left alone. Let's move on to something else. Because guess what? If this fight doesn't happen between these two top-notch guys, this fight doesn't happen, boxing is going to die down again. This is the fight that could make boxing back on the map once again. But however, if this fight does not happen, then this boxing is going to die down once again. Okay. Now, getting back to last night. Last night, what I saw um, on a couple people's faces there, I was looking at Oscar De La Hoya's face. You know, he did have a level of concern on the first couple rounds with Ortiz. I did see that on his face. But then again, you know, Ortiz pulled it out, and that's what all good fighters do. They're able to make adjustments and they pull it out. I give Ortiz all the credit in the world. He is a great fighter. Okay, he gets his props. But last night, I was not impressed with his performance last night. If I had to rate his performance last night on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm going to give him probably a 4.5 because he could have done a lot of things a lot better. Okay, like for one thing, okay, me, all the fighters that I teach, I'm big on the jab. I'm big on the jab. Okay, I'm huge on the jab. The jab is the key to boxing. The jab sets everything up. I'm also huge on defense. Defense is the number one key. Blocking the punches, slipping the punches, getting away from the punches, moving your head, getting the angles. All those things are number one. These are my two biggest pet peeves. So any fighter that I would personally train, that's where I'm starting. With the jab and the defense. I need to find out first, does this person have a jab? Where's his hands going? And more important, does he understand what timing really is? Can anybody out there tell me what timing is? Write it in the comment section. Okay? But I'm going to give you guys a little hint. Okay? For every action, there's a reaction. And it's what happens in between the time you throw the punch and you pull in the punch back. It's what has happened in that time frame. It's just a very small window of opportunity to strike back. And if you really understand timing, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't understand timing, you're going to go, huh? That makes no sense. It makes plenty of sense. Okay? Because all great fighters do exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? And perfect example. Man big on defense. Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Money Mayweather. Big on defense. If you go back and look at Floyd's fight, it's what he does in between the punches that makes the difference in every single fight. So again, I'm going to say something to you guys again. Who are you guys listening to? Are you listening to people with just boxing knowledge, or are you listening to people with boxing experience and the knowledge to go along with that? It makes a difference, because the one over here with the knowledge is going to give you half the truth, and the other one is going to give you the whole truth. That is the difference between boxing experience and knowledge and just knowledge. Okay? That's the difference. All right? You know, I'll tell you guys again, boxing needs to be great again. Last night, the card was like I said, the card was okay. I'm not If I had to rate the whole card, I'll give it maybe a 5, maybe a 6. Okay, but again, I wasn't impressed with the with all the fighters that was on the card. Okay, I really wasn't impressed. I mean, and the reason why I wasn't impressed because I expect more. I mean, you spend money for these fights, and I expect a little bit more. I want a little bit more. Again, boxing needs to be great again. And if boxing is going to be great again, you put your best talent inside the ring on a pay per view card. I mean, you could have found a better fighter than Cobb and the other guy, Hooker. I'm sure you could have. I'm sure you could have. Okay. I mean, again, that fight was, Cobb won the fight. Not taking nothing away from Cobb, not taking nothing away from Hooker. Okay. But I just thought that the card wasn't that great of a card last night. And this is the type of thing that is allowing other people to go watch the bare knuckle fighting, MMA, and this is why boxing is starting to lose a lot of their fans, is because of a lot of the stuff that's going on in boxing. Okay, especially with all this stuff about, and I'm going to say it, I'm mentioning avoiding the black fighters. Okay, that is something else that's pulling people away from boxing. You can't do this sort of stuff in boxing and expect people to continue watching you. You have to be fair to everyone. I see all this stuff, and I sit back and I just watch everybody. I watch what everybody's saying. I watch what people are doing. Okay, we got people like Abel Sanchez saying that no one wants to see black fighters. What kind of nonsense is that? You know what it would be sound like if I turn around and said nobody wants to see Mexican fighters? Think about that for a moment. Listen, folks, just think about this, what was said. No one wants to see black fighters. Just think about that. How wrong can that be? But yet and still, you want to see a Dominican fighter, or you want to see a Cuban fighter, or a Puerto Rican fighter, but they're the same skin color as a black fighter. What kind of nonsense is this? Come on. Okay? Enough of that. But again, like I said, last night's card, 4 fights on the card. That's a little better than 3 fights on the card. And again, I really wasn't impressed with that whole card. Virgil Ortiz probably was the best fighter that was on the whole card. Again, congrats to you, Virgil Ortiz. Congrats to everybody that won their fight last night, and everybody else that put forth an effort. You guys did it. You did it. You did it, and it was good. So I'm gonna give everybody their props. But at the same time, I really wasn't impressed with the whole card. Period. Okay, and I'm gonna be straight up and honest with you. I'm not easily impressed because I do understand and I know boxing. Okay, you want to see exciting fights? Use the jab. The jab has got to be part of your whole boxing game. Okay, it's got to be. It has to be the jab. There are fighters out there that are not even using the jab anymore. Again, I'm just like, wow. I mean, last night I said Virgil did use his jab. He didn't use it more. He didn't use it consistently like I thought he would, but he did have. Some people will call it ring rust. Okay, but as a fighter, I would not step back into that squared ring until I'm 100%. That's just me. Now, what other fighters do, that's completely on them. But for me, I won't do that. I just won't do that. I want to make sure that I'm 100% because you never know what can happen inside of that ring. I've said it before. Okay? At any moment, your life could end with one punch inside that ring. This is why defense is so, so important. Okay? And your jab sets everything up. All right? And it doesn't matter if what style of fighting that you use. The jab is the most important weapon in boxing. And yeah, you guys is probably saying, "Oh man, we all know that." Well, if you know it, how come your fighters are not doing it? Questions, bro. Let's stop and let's get people to think about some of the things that's going on in boxing. Oh, guys, just one quick moment. We need to do a quick little break from my sponsor. Here we go, folks. Check this out.
This is how we're feeling. Gathered in the party, look so appealing. Face up to the situation looming. One of them the is gonna.
Hey guys, yeah, here you go. My sponsor right there. You know what? That's those organic teas. All right, tea with Tammy. Organic teas, very, very healthy and full with a lot of antioxidants, guys. Hey guys, you don't want all those sugary drinks? Get yourself some organic tea. Check out Tea with Tammy. All right, check it out, guys. It's some really, really good tea. All organic teas, different sort of flavors. You'll be amazed, guys. Okay. All right, guys. So let's get back to this boxing thing. Okay, look, I'm not gonna be on here too much longer. I'm just gonna say last night I really wasn't impressed. Okay, with what I saw last night on the fight card. Okay, I expect a lot more from people that are on pay-per-view because these are some of the best fighters that are in the world. Okay, I mean, wow. I mean, Golden Boy. I know you got more exciting fighters than that. I know you do. I know you do. I mean, last night I was just shocked. I was just shocked what I saw. I mean, and I'm not gonna sit here and gonna lie to you and say that the card was a spectacular card because it wasn't. It was not a spectacular card. None of the fights on there were spectacular. They were mediocre fights. Period. That's it. All right, guys. I've been on here for a little bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get off and you guys just go ahead and you guys just keep watching boxing. Find a good, exciting fighter, okay? And if you guys are gonna follow that fighter, then follow that fighter. But know something: if the fighter's not using the jab, try to encourage him to use his jab. It'll open up so much more on his combination punching if you utilize your jab. Utilize a lot more angles, and guys are just jumping right in and walking right into other fighters. We've seen this in the Shakur Stevenson fight when he fought Oscar Valdez. That is why Shakur Stevenson won the way he won. Because Oscar didn't use a jab. Oscar had his blinders on. Hands way up here. Notice my peripheral vision is blocked. I can't see punches coming. I only got tunnel vision. I can only see what's coming ahead. Straight on. So if Shakur Stevenson, he throws a 1-2 and he comes with a hook, the other fighter gets hit because his blinders are up here. Hands belong here. That's to block the hook. Block the jab. That's it. Okay? But, again, if you don't understand defense, you won't understand what I just did. Okay? So, I have to leave it with a very, very saying that a real important celebrity, he had something that he would tell every boxing fan that don't know boxing.
Can you tell me the origin of your phrase, you don't know shit about boxing is infamous?
Everybody know. Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing anyway.
What do you...
All right, guys, there you go. Roger Mayweather. He said that for a reason. He said that for a reason. So I'm going to get back to saying this one more time. Who are you listening to? You listen to people with just knowledge? Or are you listening to people that are former fighters? They are current coaches right now, and they have boxing. Who are you listening to? That is the question. Some people talk a great game. Some people talk a great game. Okay? But if you know anything about boxing, the smart thing is to listen to the people that are the former fighters and the boxing experience and the boxing knowledge. Because remember something, folks. I said this before, and I'm going to say it one more time. In that squared ring, you only have 3 minutes to be great. That means second round is not promised to you. If you make it out of the first round, then you get added time and added time and added time. But currently, right now, the only round that is a give me round is the first round. You have 3 minutes to be great. Everything you do matters. Mistakes cannot exist inside that squared ring. That's a little food for thought for all you guys that are out there that are boxing fans, because I know you haven't heard that before. Okay? There's a lot of people out there that will say things, but I'm telling you that is from experience, from being a fighter inside of that ring, knowing every inch of the ring and where the referee is at all times while I'm fighting my opponent. Okay? All right, guys. That's all I got for you. You guys have a great day. Have a great Sunday. Again, I'm going to say it one more time. Last night card, I wasn't impressed with it. It was a mediocre card. Okay? I expect a lot more from a pay-per-view event. In fact, that pay-per-view event was far less than the ones that I've seen previous weeks ago. Okay, that was the worst of the worst of the one I saw last night than the previous ones I just seen just a couple weeks ago. That's just me, boxing profile, because I have a very, very high standard for professional fighters because I was a professional fighter myself. So the bottom line to it is I expect a lot more from fighters on a pay-per-view card. I expect you to be 100%. 100%. And come on, Hooker was not 100% last night. That was not 100% that we saw last night from that guy. Like I said, I'm going to be real with it, okay? Yeah, I understand that he went through something. Guess what? We all go through something. You stepped to a card that said that you would fight, and you wasn't 100%. Shit, I don't even know if you was 20% from what I saw last night. Very, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. And you know what? At this particular point, I'm going to have to reevaluate if I even want to watch the zone pay-per-views again, because I don't want to spend the money and see what I saw last night. That's just me. And I know Oscar De La Hoya has got a lot better fighters than that. I know he does. Come on, Gabe Rosado would have put on a better show last night. And Gabe Rosado is not a big top-notch fighter. We saw less than mediocre fighters last night. That's what we saw on the undercards. Less than mediocre fighters. That's why I'm concerned. I'm concerned about boxing because, again, boxing is not what it used to be. It needs to get back to being what it used to be. Boxing needs to be great again. It's not great anymore. We get a couple good fights, and that's it. And then that's it. And after that, everything dies down. Okay? Look at what's happening between Spence and Crawford right now. These guys can't even agree on the money. Okay? When, first of all, number one, the smart thing to do, if you want to bring in money for a big, huge fight like that, which is supposedly the biggest fight in boxing, why wouldn't you have that fight at the Dallas Stadium where you could bring in over 100,000 people? And then plus all the people that will go there, all the people that will buy the pay-per-view. Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you go all the way to Vegas? Or go to Florida, go to all these other different places. Why would you do that when you have a venue that can hold over 100,000 people? It's not making sense, folks. None of that whole negotiation, none of it is making sense. Nothing is making sense when it comes to that particular fight. Do they want boxing to be great again? If you want boxing to be great again, and you want people to come back and start paying attention to boxing, then yes, you guys need to make this fight. If you guys are not going to make this fight, boxing is not going to be great again. Unless we get a special talent coming from somewhere. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say this. Last night, we had a mediocre card last night on DAZN pay-per-view. Honestly, I've seen up and coming fighters that no one knows who they are put on a better performance than what I saw last night, okay, on the DAZN card. Especially that fight between Cobb and Hooker. Especially that particular fight. Less than mediocre fighters. And the reason why these up-and-coming fighters are putting on a better performance than some of the guys that's already on television is because they're trying to make a name for themselves. These guys are truly, truly hungry. So boxing fans and everybody else, if you guys want to continue seeing the DAZN and the mediocre cards, and you guys continue spending your money for that, that's what you want, okay? But I'm not satisfied with that. I want to see exciting fights. I'm not putting anybody down or nothing. I'm just telling you how I feel. This is how I feel. What I saw last night was I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed, not one bit. Not one bit. Wasn't impressed. I know De La Hoya's got better fighters than that. I know he does. Or does he? I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, I was not impressed. I'm not trying to put nobody down. I'm not saying nothing bad about anybody. All I'm saying is, for me, the fight card was mediocre. Okay, and then the Cobb and the Hooker card was less than mediocre. Okay, yeah, Cobb pulled it out, but like I said, I wasn't impressed. I'm not trying to. I ain't saying nothing bad about nobody. I'm just saying I know that there's got to be better fighters in the Golden Boy stable than what we saw last night. I know he does. I know he's got to have better fighters than that. If you don't, then there's a recruitment process that you could start looking at. I mean, trying to find better fighters. I mean, I don't know. In fact, I'm surprised that a lot of these guys are not in the recruiting process, trying to find these different these unknown fighters that no one that know about, out trying to recruit them, getting them on the card, getting them in the gym and training them, getting them to build them up. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. All I'm saying is, boxing needs to be great again. Boxing needs to be back on television again, free TV. Because last night's card, if that was on free TV, it wouldn't have been so bad because it was free. The fact that you had to pay for the pay-per-view and that's what you saw is the issue that I have with it. You had to pay for that, and it was a mediocre card. That's the issue that I have with it. And that is the issue right there why people are streaming. I'm going to say it again for all you promoters that are out there. The fight card that was on DAZN last night is why people are streaming. You put on a mediocre card and you want people to pay money for it. Come on, guys. Come on. There are a lot better fighters in your stable that you could have put on that card last night. I know that. I'm not impressed one bit. So all you promoters that see this, when you put a card on, please Put your best foot forward. Get your best fighters out there. Make the best fights you can to keep the fans entertained. All right, guys, I didn't even want to be on here that long. I've been on here about 35 minutes now. I didn't even want to be on here that much. I guess I had more to say than I actually really thought about. Again, folks, I got to say this one more time. Who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Are you listening to people with boxing knowledge? Or are you listening to former professional fighters who are now coaches and they have boxing knowledge? Who are you listening to? All right, guys, you guys have a great day. I'm out. Remember something. Keep punching. Don't get punch drunk. Peace. I'm out. You guys take care. I'll be back at you guys real soon.